welcome to my live. How are you guys doing? How is everybody? I am so excited for today's live. Firstly, before we get into today's topic, as you guys can see, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody. All of you guys, honestly, 4,000 subscribers. I can't even cope. But yeah, guys, I don't even know what to say. But yeah, hashtag road to 5k, baby. Let's go, let's do this. If you have just joined the live, don't forget to hit that like button. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. And yeah, hit the like button. It's so important to YouTube. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I love doing lives because it means that we can chit chat, we can talk, we can discuss. I'm also going to drop the link so you guys can get involved in today's discussion, because listen, today's videos has been a little bit mad. I've literally been like, what is going on with men? Like, why do men do this? Let's talk about it. You guys have been interacting with the poll that I posted earlier. So I'm going to read out some of the comments from that. Should men borrow money from their partner? We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of conversation around it. There's been split opinions. I'm just going to speak from my perspective as a woman, and then hopefully we can get some guys up in here from their perspective as well. So that will be really good. So I'm going to wait a little bit there's a little bit more of you in here, and yeah, I'm just going to get right into today's topic, today's video. How are you, the Alcohol and Trust? How are you doing? What's good? What's popping? But yeah, guys, I'm just like, you know what? Men be doing a lot out here in these streets, and what's interesting is that the minute a female does something, it's like women this, women that. And there's been a lot of things going on. There's even things that I didn't talk about. The whole Dave situation, I didn't talk about that. But yeah, do you know what? I thought, let's just use this opportunity to just interact and talk about it. So we've got on the poll, in a relationship, should men borrow money? That's what we're going to talk about. Let me put that up. Should men borrow money from their partner? And I'm going to drop the link so you guys can also call in, and we're going to get involved in the conversation. I'm going to show you guys as well. I'm going to show you guys as well some of the responses, what people have been saying, which has been really interesting. I love doing lives because it just means that I don't have to just talk all the time, and I get to see other perspective as well, which is really good. And yeah, as usual, if anything pops up that I'm like, oh, this is if anything trending pops up that we should talk about, then yeah, I'll just drop it in the video at random sometimes, but it always kind of relates one way or another. So once again, if you are new to my channel, it's all good vibes. Oh, okay. I see you already. Yeah. You are ready. Okay. I'll pop you in in a minute. Let's just have a look to see if there's anything interesting, just to kill a little bit of time at the moment. Do you know what's interesting? Really random, but I don't know if you guys do follow Molly May, but obviously she's got a really big following, and she was on her Instagram today. She was doing what was she doing? I don't think it was a live, but she was on her Instagram and she was talking about she's had her teeth removed or whatever they are that she had done. And then she was talking about regrets that she's had, work that she's had on her body. And it's quite interesting that a lot of these influences are now coming out and talking about don't do surgery, you know, love yourself, and coming up with these messages. And as great as it is, I low-key was thinking to myself, I don't know if she paid for her surgery or it was part of a promotion for the companies or whatever, but it's like, did you pay for it, or was you doing it because it was free? And like, now you see the consequences of it. Now it's kind of like, don't do it, you know, all of that. It's a bit crazy, because it's like thousands of girls have already gone out because of your influence and done this, and now it's kind of like, don't do this, you know, embrace your body. That should have been the message from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that was quite interesting today. So let me add you, shall I?
What's going on?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Live life, no
Good, good,
stress.
good. So you're gonna talk to us today, yeah, from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The people seem to be enjoying you on the last live. They were like, finally
Oh,
we get to see your face.
you know, had to be shown.
Nah, that's good, that's good. Okay, so the question for today is, because I actually saw your comment. Hold on, let me see if I can go to it. I actually saw your comment and I was just like, okay, that's quite interesting. So it'll be interesting for you to dissect that today and just break it down
Cool.
on what exactly where you're coming from with that. Can I even find it right now? Let me see if I can find the video. Okay. Right, so that's the video. Let's have a look at the comments. So this particular topic is in relation to Sharif and the whole situation that was going on with him. His
Yeah,
ex-girlfriend had put out all of these posts saying that, you know, she borrowed money, she lent him money, and he just never returned back the money. He never reimbursed her back the money. And my whole thing was, it's like, I can't speak from a guy's perspective because I'm a female. And I think sometimes as women, and I say this all the time, men need to hold men accountable, and women also need to do the same. And for me, it's like, just because I'm a female doesn't mean that everything women do, I'm going to stand for it. So my thing was, it's like, for a whole year, you now come out and you like, oh, Sharif took my money and he was trying to live up the lifestyle. But how was he even living up the lifestyle if he didn't give him the money? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
if you're coming
True.
out, because she's basically saying that he's broke. So when you look at his Instagram, my guy's there, you know, all the pictures is looking lavish, he's looking like he's on holidays, he's looking good in that. So it's like, so if you were paying for him to look like that, you can't now come out and complain. Do you get what I mean?
True.
It's like,
True.
that's what you did.
Oh, no.
So, okay, so yeah, I found your comment.
Cool.
Okay, so you said this is why Mandem. Do you remember what you said, by the way?
Honestly, I can't remember.
Okay, so you said this is why Mandem just need to learn how to be a man from an early age. But as far as K-Trap's post, it's all well and good making that suggestion, but he should also then provide money and opportunities for the mandem he is talking about. So those men can pay those women back. True and definitely correct. So he basically put out a post saying men shouldn't borrow money at all, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, expand on what you're saying. So you're saying that he should create the opportunities.
Yeah, because my thing is, look, if you're gonna, um, it's like if you're gonna talk about a subject like that, you know what I mean? If you don't know, like obviously I don't know K-Trap personally, but it's like, does he know every guy that's borrowed money from women? Do you see what I mean? And more times, sometimes as well, you see when people borrow money in general, when people borrow, when they say they want to borrow money from someone, it's not because they want to literally borrow money. They just want the money. Do you see what I mean? It's just the
Mhm.
term borrow because it sounds um more appealing and yeah, this sounds more appealing rather than to say, can I have the money? Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Can I have X amount of money to do whatever? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's all in wording really, but and that's the other thing. There's no, it's like as far as creating opportunities, and that's the thing. It's the thing of you can't just tell people don't borrow money or no, not that just that, but you can't just tell guys or whatever that they have to pay women back. I'm not saying that they shouldn't, because they clearly should, but it's a thing of how do you know if they're in a financial position to pay them back anyway? Do you see what I
Mm.
mean? So if if someone's complaining about it, do you know what I mean? Then at least just you know create opportunity then, isn't it, for them to be able to solve that situation. That's what I look at it.
Okay, I hear where you're coming from, but it's like at the end of the day, if you just make it black and white, it's like if you don't have the finances, then you shouldn't put your partner in that position because sometimes with females, yeah, it's like when they're in love, they do the utmost, like they will do whatever it is that they can to help their man.
Yeah,
I feel like more often women do that than men. It's like you just want to see your man win because it's naturally built in us. Like we've got that natural, like nurturing, caring type of characteristic built in us. So
yeah,
it's like when you're with your guy, and that's why, even with conversations that we've had in the past about dating a potential, it's like even with a guy, when he starts asking you, oh, babe, can I borrow? It can start small, like £10, £100. Oh, can you do this for me? Or can you do that for me? And it's like, naturally, when a woman loves that guy, she will do it. But as a man, like if you are not in a financial position to know that you're not going to pay her back, then you can't then put that responsibility, not responsibility, but you can't then like say blame guys like him saying just don't borrow money at all and be like we'll create the opportunities. But if you don't have the money, then just don't borrow. You know what I
true.
mean?
But
It's like, because if you just
I,
look at it black and white, not like, like it's just like it just don't borrow.
true. But my thing is, yeah, my thing is as a whole, like men should be taught from an early age to get the money and then get into a relationship or whatever situationship. You see what I mean? That way it's a lot more easier. But other than that, it's a thing of, all right, well, if you're in a relationship with that person, it's like technically it's more of instead of like it's more of an investment. You know what I mean? And it's a thing of your money's my money. You know what I mean? We both gonna win. You feel me? So that's how it goes. But me personally, I have so much pride. So I can't borrow money from a woman. Like even with one particular ex, it's like I remember when she started making more money than me. And I wasn't envious or anything, but like, right, like this is a problem. Like you can't be making more money than me. You know what I mean?
Or did
Like it's
it did
also
it like push you to do more? Like did it stir you up to do more?
no, it definitely stirred me up to do more, but at the same time, um, it it stirred me up to do more. But it was a situation where I was very argumentative. You know what I mean?
Why?
Like there
Why,
was,
why was you argumentative?
I just guess it's just more of the thing of like I don't know, like how dare she be making more money than me? Do you know what I mean?
So then
But
were you guys then was it causing friction with the relationship?
I guess so. I don't even know to be honest. Like there's so many other factors to it, but like looking back now, like I'm like I wouldn't have a problem with it because obviously I'm gonna make more eventually anyway. You know what I mean? And her money is my money anyway. Like and my money is her money. You know what I mean? Like is what it is. And I think, but the problem is, like I said, the problem is as a whole is yeah, men shouldn't really borrow money from their partners. But I will say this: if they do end up borrowing money, there's no. This is gonna sound wrong here, but it is what it is. If they do end up borrowing money, as much as they should pay it back, if there's no contract agreement, then they don't have to pay it back. If they're gonna so I would suggest to women, if you do want them to pay that money back, put a contract in place. Do you see what I'm saying? That way, it's a lot more easier to deal with. And because
Okay.
it's like you can't come up you can't. And this is the thing with the whole what's his name, Sharif.
Sharif, yeah.
Like it's like we don't know whether it's a case of she was giving him money, like she was just spending money on him. You see what I mean? Because that's what some women like to do. Like
That's
even
what it sounded like.
yeah, because
Well,
even
okay,
like
here's the thing,
one of my
yeah.
exes, she spent on me. So
Huh?
never. Even like with one of my exes, like I've probably mentioned before, like she spent on me. I didn't ask for it, but she spent on me. You know what I mean? I'm
Spend
not gonna
on
turn
you,
it down.
like buy you, like gives here and then, or because what she was saying, like what Sharif's ex was kind of saying was like she was basically providing for him, like the lifestyle that he was living, she was providing for him, like spending for your man, for example. Like if you go out shopping and then you buy him something, like that's nothing. Do you know what I mean? But
True.
providing for somebody to the point where it's becoming a lifestyle, like that's a no-no. And
Yeah.
sorry, what you were saying about this whole contract thing, I don't think it's realistic, because when you are in a relationship, like you don't think, oh, okay, you're gonna borrow money, like I'm gonna lend you money, you need to sign this paper, like this needs to be a contract kind of thing. You're just like, okay, baby, how much do you need? Like, when can you pay it back? And you come to some type of agreement on how they're gonna pay you back.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
it's the
a
thing.
verbal agreement, and it's up to that person's integral mindset to be like, do you know what? As a man, I'm gonna pay you back and more. Actually, like,
I hear that, yeah. No, but the thing is, it's a thing of the way I look at it as well, yeah. In relationships in general as well, relationships is kind of like a business. Do you see what I mean? And I don't want. Okay, I won't say this, but I'm gonna say something else, but that's gonna be too controversial. But like, it's like put it this way: everyone more or less has an exit strategy. You see what I mean? So
you think
obviously, yeah,
everyone has an exit strategy?
yeah.
Okay, I don't agree. Do you guys, let's pull it out, do you guys think everybody has an exit strategy? I think that's detrimental to the relationship, because to me, I feel
It
like
is.
you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like
It
already
is.
in your mind, you're like, in case this happens, like this is how I'm gonna exit. Like then it's to me like that's not real love. Like I'm sorry, but
I
that's
don't
not.
know, but as a whole, though, I feel like just to keep on the topic, like this situation is mad. I just think it's magic because I look at it and I think everyone's financial situation is different, right? And
Mhm.
obviously, if you're in a relationship, and let's just say, I don't know, let's just say you're straight out of college, you're in a relationship, and then the woman end up getting you know a job or whatever before the guy,
Yeah.
obviously she can have more money. You know what I mean? So if he's now borrowing money, it's just the word for me is borrow. That's the one that's the term that's really annoying me right now, because it's like, do they really want to borrow the money, or do they really want to just have the money for, say, like, for example, if you look at it as like I'm talking about relationship being business, like if you can get a loan, but you can also get a grant. A loan you have to pay back. A grant you don't have to pay back. You see what I mean? So I guess it's more of a thing where it's not a loan they want. They don't want to borrow money. They want a grant. They want that money to do whatever they need to do with that money. But I don't know. People just need to it's so tricky. It just depends on the circumstance, but you know, I just don't think I just don't think it's right for other guys to suggest all these other, well, I would say other guys, but Trap in particular, like, you know, if you're going to mention that, because let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's an artist. You see what I mean? And he lived a particular whatever lifestyle before he was doing music or whatever. You know what I mean? So let's say if he wasn't making money from his music, you know what I mean? If he wasn't signed or whatever, and he was still living a particular lifestyle, and he was borrowing money from women, would he still have the same mindset?
Okay, I get what you mean, because what you're saying is like everybody is at different places in their lives. So it's
Yeah,
like sometimes you have to try and put yourself in other people's shoes, because obviously every man, I think, inside never strives to be a bum, basically. Like he doesn't, in
yeah,
his head, like he's not thinking this is how I want to live for the rest of my life.
yeah,
But I do feel like guys get comfortable very quickly. And I'm going to be honest, for me, I feel like having had conversations with my girlfriends, I've I've dated guys that are financially stable. I've dated guys that are financially struggling, have financially
yeah,
struggled. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but I've never, guys that are financially stable, you don't have this type of issues, like financial issues or financial
yeah,
conversations, like problems in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like for a
yeah,
guy, it's kind of like things like, 50-50 or paying on the first date. Like you just don't get that type of conversation. Like to them, it's like their pride is more important. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
money doesn't even come into the equation. Like I only ever heard those type of issues with guys that are not financially secure. And I think it's
yeah.
that insecurity that creeps out and it causes that friction within the relationship.
That's
And
true.
the interesting thing is, it's like men take their pride, like they value their pride so much. But when it comes to money, it's almost like, oh, I will exchange, like I will trade my pride to ask for money. Like suddenly it's okay to ask for money. But anything else is like my pride, my pride, my pride. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean. I get what you mean, but then but I'm also looking at my experience. It's like my pride. Yeah, I literally cannot ask women for money. I can't. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I can't. Like even this whole like it's like if you're gonna borrow if a guy's gonna borrow money from a woman, at least get yourself a sugar mama or something like that. But even that, I just think that's a bit weird.
Let me just have a read some of these comments. So Catherine CM says, my man would feel really bad even asking me for money, even though I would give it if that situation is down, but it will continue after if you keep letting it slide. 100%. And Cynthia Ojera says, unless the man is borrowing for something substantial, why would he need to make it a regular thing? It's very unattractive. 100%. It's like guys do that. Like I feel like for me, my thing is, it's like, listen, I think someone must have said it in the comments somewhere, like, don't hate the player, hate the game, or something. Because it's like, if as females we allow certain things to happen, or we allow guys to get away with certain things, then we can't then turn
Yeah,
around and complain about it. Like, because I think sometimes guys can get very relaxed and lazy. And if you find a female that you can kind of like pull your strings, because when a guy is asking that woman for money all the time, he's putting in some lies in there, like he's sweetening her up. He's making her feel like she's special. He's trading her something that she's obviously feeling like, yeah, I'm that woman. And you're really not that woman. Like he's
true,
just actually using you because he's somewhere where he's content, he's comfortable. So to
true.
me, it's kind of like, why, number one, as a man, like it's just disturbing that guys do that anyway. But secondly, as women, like, you can't come out and then blast a guy on socials and then be like, I want my money back. Do you know what I mean? Like, contract or no
Yeah,
contract. Because unless
true,
you actually have something like legally down, which I don't think being in a relationship you are going to, unless it's like a prenup, then he can do whatever he wants.
true. But I think at the same time, it's like it's so mad. Like I just generally think if a guy is gonna get into a relationship, they just need to be financially stable. Like that's the one thing I would highly recommend. Like I'm not saying to stop like dating women or whatever, but even when you're dating women, just don't need to ask them for money. You don't need that. Like just for, and this is the thing. The priorities are wrong. They're not in the right order. Unless they're using that money to invest in their purpose and that, then I guess that's a different scenario. But at the same time, you know, I don't know. It's just guys just need to be taught how to be men, basically, because yeah, it's just nuts.
Do you know what? Like, I don't even have a problem with like women borrowing lending money to their men. Like, I feel like when you're in a relationship, because money is such, you work extremely hard for your money, and I
Mm,
feel like if you're in a relationship and you know that that's your life partner, you're working towards it. This is not somebody that you've just met, somebody that you just dating. Like, this is somebody that you're serious. If
yeah.
he's like, oh babe, I just need a little bit, like, can you help me out? Like, I don't think there's a problem with that. But it's like, if he keeps asking you for money, then why are you going to keep lending to him when he hasn't kept his word to give you back the money that he gave you in the first place? Because then that's now a behavior that he's building up, and that's a red flag to me. Like, that's a sign that's like,
Wait, hold up. Do these, I don't, the thing is, do these guys actually ask for, look, when they ask for the money, do they say they're going to pay them back?
yeah, some guy. Whoa, sometimes it happens. Like, I've been in that
Okay.
kind of situation where it's like, oh, I need money for this, and I've been like, okay, so when do you think you'll be able to pay me back, or you can pay me back like this? Like, you don't just give the person the money and it's just like, yeah, just pay me back whenever. Or some people do, like, pay me back whenever, but you put an expectation on the table and say, pay me back, or you have an agreement, you lay it on the table so you both know. Because sometimes women will go as far as taking from their savings and giving it to that guy. I mean, look at the whole Lani and Tion situation. I mean, that was a little bit flipped, but it's like,
Yeah.
guys, like, when you decide that you're going to give the money and you lay down your agreement, then stick to the agreement. Do you know what I mean? But there's no, in a relationship, to me, like, there's no problem in being like vice versa. Oh, can I have, I mean, for me, I wouldn't borrow. I'd be like, just give it to me. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But as a man, it's like, oh yeah, can I just borrow this? Or I'm sure I just need, sometimes people don't carry cash. It's like, oh, have you got £10? Or it's just little example. And it's like, it's okay. Do you know what I mean? Because you are in a partnership, you are in a relationship. Like, there's no point on being like, this is my money, this is your money. That's not
Yeah.
healthy. But
That's true.
when it comes to now, like, a whole year has gone and it's accumulated, and you have no intention of paying that person back, then mate, you rob that person.
True.
Like,
Oh no, this it's such a weird thing. I don't know. This whole, I don't know. It's just weird to me because it's like money. Money is a big. I don't want to say it's a big deal. It's because it is and it's not. It is in a sense that if you're in a relationship, you know what I mean, and you're both not. If, let's just say if what the woman's more financially secure, then obviously yeah, it is kind of a problem. But at the same time, the guy, like I keep saying before, like the man just has to be financially stable to be in a relationship. That's as simple as it gets. And this is the thing. I don't think most. I think what's mad is I think guys that borrow money. Now, this is me judging. I shouldn't judge, but guys that borrow money from women and they say they borrow money, they want to pay back or whatever, and they don't pay back, and no one has their intention that they're not going to pay back. They're shook because
mm,
that they're shook in saying like, give me. instead of saying give me the money, you know what I mean? They're shook, so they use the term borrow and use the term pay them back. You know what I mean? It's just words
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, why would like I'm just looking at it from a perspective where yeah, it takes a great deal of confidence to even ask for money in the first place, but it takes a bigger deal of confidence to actually be upfront with it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if you want to borrow money, go to the bank.
Okay, we're talking about a substantial amount then for him to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cynthia says, let me read the other comments. So I met a guy, just started dating, and he used to do subtle broke. X, if we were planning something, he would say, "Oh, babe, you pay." Oh, that's a no-no.
Wow.
My card or blah blah. I will pay you back when I see you. Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm that chick that you won't even hear from me. I won't even tell you. I won't even give you an explanation. The next day, I will not. You will not even find me. Like you won't hear from me. My phone will be
Mm.
disconnected. Like I can't with guys like that. I cannot. Do you know what? My friend. I had a friend. She went on a date with a guy, and he actually had suggested, oh, let's go out, let's do this. So, of course, if a guy invites you to go out, you would assume that he would pay, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's an assumption. I think that's a general assumption. And obviously, they went out and everything, had drinks, had food, and then he doesn't have his card suddenly. So obviously, she then pays. Oh, not his card, sorry, because of COVID, you have to use the app thing.
Yeah.
So obviously he didn't have the app, so she had it. So she put it on her app, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll give you the money." 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, no money, and it's kind of like, surely your conscience would tell you that you went out with a woman and you told her you was going to give her money. I'm the kind of person like I won't even remind you because I don't like that money. Like money is just really like a weird thing. So
Yeah.
it's like after a week is gone, she was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna ask him. But after that, it was just like, nah, forget you, because you actually made me do that, knowing full well that you wasn't really gonna pay me, and you just ate your dinner, had your drink nicely. I think
Mm.
that's bad.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is. I think this is the thing. If the guy does initiate, asking about to go on a date, then yeah, he should pay. If it's a guy should pay in general anyway, regardless. You know what I mean? But it's like it's just mad to me how some guys are in it. They're just yeah, I don't know.
But you
I don't
think,
want to
like,
call them.
if a woman, if it's a female that invites you, then she should pay.
No, not even that. If she invites me, then I won't lie. If she said that she wants to pay, you know what I mean? Then it's a different thing. But my pride is my pride in it. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna allow her to pay. That's just my pride.
Yeah, yeah. So then are you one of those guys that would like, because some guys would test the female to see if she would actually bring out her person, and they'll be like, no, 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 no. Like, it's okay, just put your person. But in your head, you just want to see what she's gonna do. Because some guys do that.
No, I don't even do that. There's no point in doing that. That's just it. That's just insecurity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, end of the day, it's mad. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, because I've never done that. It's like I don't know how to explain it. But I wouldn't understand why some guys would do that just to test them. Like that doesn't make sense. Like me personally, it's like I know the woman that I've attracted. You know what I mean? Like so, I'm not gonna say I expect them to be a certain way, but things that have led up to that point is making me realize the type of woman that she possibly is. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily have to test them. It don't make sense. This ain't no examination. This ain't no AK. What's it? AQA examination.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Kay Brown says boundaries. Yeah, man, I think boundaries is so key. Like, I don't know if we set enough boundaries, like in our relationship, or if we even know how to set boundaries. Catherine says finance is the biggest reason for divorce in a relationship. Yeah. And I just feel like in the beginning of a relationship, when you find your potential partner that you like, okay, do you know what? I'm satisfied with that person. Like, it's so important to have that conversation. Like, what's your relationship with money like? You know, are you a spender?
True.
You know, are you an indoor person or outdoor person? Like, especially if you like going to nice places, because some guys like don't want to spend their money. Like, they don't like eating out, or they don't like all that lavish lifestyle, but then you might want that. And then later on, it will cause problem in the relationship because you'd be like, oh, you're boring. But you already knew that he didn't like that anyway. So, do you know what I mean? And I don't know if you have that type of conversation early on enough in the relationship.
True.
It's wild to me, though, that somebody who came off Love Island with a blue tick does not have money. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know. That to me, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say he may be exaggerating. I don't know. I don't know the situation fully in it. So I would just say at the end of the day, you know, like, he doesn't have to come out and say, like, express the truth or anything, because sometimes, you know, some people just want attention in it. So, and if he's blocked her, then he probably already knows all she
I
wants is
think it's
attention.
intentions, isn't it? It's like I feel like sometimes people have money, maybe guys have money, because I can't believe that he didn't have any money. But sometimes you in relationships for profit and gain. So
It's a business,
in that
like I said.
case, it's just kind of like, well, why am I going to be using up my money when you're basically splashing it out on me?
True.
I don't know if a lot of men do that, but women, I feel like, do that because it's like, it's the natural thing is for a guy to spoil you or for a guy to treat you. So the majority of the time you can save and you can stack up on your money because you don't really use it that much.
True.
But it sounds like from that instant, like he does have money, but she was basically just splashing it out. And in his head, he's like, well, this relationship profits me really well and I'm gaining a lot from it. So why am I even going to touch my money? Because you're not going to be in a relationship for somebody for a year and then you're blocking them and then you've stacked up and then you don't want to give it that back. Like, that was not a real thing.
True. He was like a gigolo, innit? Guess that's a gigolo, innit?
Exactly. So Linewell says, be poor AF, then you know that someone's with you for love and money. Do you know what? I actually watched a Nigerian movie. I can't remember what it was called, but it was exactly like that. The guy was I don't know if he was like a king or whatever, but he was very, very wealthy. And the woman that he was with, like, literally used to like abuse him. She used to be so rude to him. Like, she used to talk to him anyhow. And he just had enough of the relationship to the point where he just wanted to like leave. So obviously it got to like, even his dad, like, she used to be so rude to him. Like, his dad would come over, and obviously in an African household, as a woman, you know, you serve the man, you serve the father-in-law. So when his dad went to ask her, like, oh, is it okay if I have a drink, she proper looked at him. She was like, me, like a homie, do you think I'm going to get up and give you a drink? Like, what do I look like? Like, she was proper like going for him. And then obviously her husband like looked at her. He was like, are you mad? Like, you talking to my dad like that? And then they were like fighting. And then the dad was like, it's okay. Like, just leave it. Calm down. I'll just go to bed. It's fine. So obviously he had enough, and then he pretend like they kind of split, and then he pretended that he lost everything. He lost the money. He lost the businesses. He got a lawyer to do like a divorce. And the lady that did the divorce for them, she was a part of their friends as well. And she would basically like helped him. She stuck by him, like, even when he lost everything. and it was all staged in the end. Like they made it up, and in the
Yeah.
end, he fell in love with her, with the solicitor, let's call her. And when his ex-wife,
Yeah.
got a new boyfriend, but the new boyfriend was a worker for her husband. So
Yeah.
her husband was his boss, and she didn't know. So
Oh.
when they were at the house, her boyfriend was on the phone, like, "Oh, my boss is outside. My boss is outside." So when he walked in, her face dropped because she realized that it was her husband, and she was like, "You're telling me that's your boss, the rich man?" And then, like, in the end, obviously he chucked her out. He was like, it was all a stunt, like it was all like faked. Her mum
Yeah.
used to be so rude to her. It was only her dad that was nice to him. Obviously he gave her dad money. It was really, really
Mm.
bad, but it was interesting that Lionel said that, because it reminded me of that film, because it was like, sometimes maybe you do have to put your wallet away and see what will happen. Maybe you do have to be like, "Oh, why don't we go to the park instead of that expensive restaurant?" Because there's so many things that you can do for dates.
True.
But then at the same time, some guys don't mind giving females that lifestyle to get what they want because they can afford it. So it doesn't really
True.
necessarily mean that the guy really likes you just because he's spending on you. That's my thing. Like, guys who have money, they don't have this problem. Like, they don't have this financial talks, and they don't have it.
True. True. There's a thin line though on a man spending money on a woman, like between that and like it's mad. Like it's how do I explain it? It's like if they're already in this situation, then fair enough. And if she's adding value, even more, that's better. But if she's not really adding value, and she's just looking sweet, then that's not really a good enough reason to be spending on her. You know what I mean? But that's just me.
Is that in a relationship in general, or somebody that you're dating?
Both dating and in a relationship. Like adding value is so much. Like it's hard to explain. It's like it's better when someone adds value. You know what I mean? When she adds value, then you've got a reason to really say, okay, she's worth it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I was having a conversation with a friend, and we are talking about the high value man and the high value woman. What is a high value man?
So a high value man. I want to try and keep it short in terms of this because I got to go soon. So a high value man is basically someone who is on his purpose. You know what I mean? He's basically just a mature man. Basically, he's a mature man. He's on his purpose, on his grind, doing and how to put it? He's got plenty of options. You know what I mean? In terms of women, but also in terms of career opportunities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's more or less a high value man. Someone that's wanted and needed by others.
And what would you define, like, what would be your high value woman?
A, a high value woman, it's more or less the same, you know. You know what I mean? Like she got plenty of options of guys. Like she um and has options in terms of career prospects as well. And she also, how to put it, like yeah, she's also on her purpose. Do you know what I mean? It's more or less the same thing. It's like, for example, the only way I can explain it, it's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z is a high value man. Beyonce is a high value woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's simple as it get. Like they have options. Like in terms if even if so yeah even like yeah even though they're married, you know what I mean? You can already see in their their comments or whatever. Well, Jay-Z hardly ever is on social media, but like in the comment section, you see some guys. You know what I mean? Beyonce is their crush. You know what I mean? So and if Beyonce was, I don't know, attracted to one of them, who knows? Something could happen. You know what I mean? Would Jay-Z know about it? Possibly. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's the same thing with Jay-Z. He could do the same thing. Like, there's going to be other women out there. Like, even though they know he's married, they still want to do a thing with him, innit? You know. But
Yeah,
so yeah.
but does that make you high value though? Because like women, let's say Instagram models, for example, they get DM all the time. They get people in their comments all the time, but that doesn't make them high value.
No, it kind of
Because they
does.
have that. I'm just talking about the option side of it.
The option, no, like there's levels to it. So you got the financial status side of it, so, of being high value. Then you got the social status of being high value, and then you've got there's something else. Finance, social, and I can't remember the other one, but I know there's three of them. You know what I mean? But as far as yeah, to do with dating prospects, really, yeah. So like at the end of the day, when you look at it, if Instagram models are getting DMs and they've got loads of followers anyway, you know what I mean, and they got loads of guys sliding in the DMs, they are high
Yeah.
value because they're being chased. Like, yeah, they're being chased.
Okay, so somebody with high value, basically somebody that people are attracted to or people want. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I've pinned the link so that you guys can join in, by the way, if you want to drop in your 2 pence. I see the comments. So Linewell says, who decides their values?
You
Because no one asked me. I'd value a decent and honest poor man over a slime ball rich man.
The person who decides the value is yourself. You decide the value for yourself first and foremost, and then the person you attract, you know what I mean? You decide their value. You know what I mean? Because I'll be real with you, like I've been with some women that are low value, you know what I mean? And after realizing that, and I'm like, no, I can do better, and I want to continue to attract high value women. So I have to become high value. So I'm constantly working on myself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Constantly. So that's my thing. It's like you decide, once you decide and you become high value and you're always working on that, eventually you attract and you're able to maintain that high value person.
So, like what they say, you are what you attract, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Because
That
I gotta
was,
go.
yeah, no, thank you so much for joining in. As always a pleasure. Yeah,
No
catch
worries.
up later.
Uh,
Okay, so yeah, if anyone wants to join in, then the link is pinned, so you guys can just click on that and then I'll add you. So let's just have a look at some of the comments from the poll earlier. So I asked a question, if I can find it. Hopefully this is gonna work. Hold on a second. Okay, so I asked a question earlier. Oh, wait for me. So in a relationship, should men borrow money? So 57% of you said yes, and 43 said no. And that's just some of the comments. I mean, everyone falls on hard times at times, and at the end of the day, you should be able to feel safe around your partner. Someone else says yes, if it's just borrowing money, doesn't grow on trees. And then someone said it's a put off. Yeah, I definitely think so. I don't even know, how do you pause this thing? Is that paused? I don't even know. So that's quite a high, well, not really that much of a high amount, but that's of when I took the screenshot. I'm just going to have a look to see what the results are like now. But that's quite interesting that more of you seem to say yes than no. Let me go to it now. Yeah, so it's pretty much still the same at the moment. I'll just read it off on here. So Chelsea Haight says, I'm 50-50. I feel like as a couple, you are meant to become one. And out of love for that person, if they need help, I would do it. However, from the time you are taking liberties and abusing the favor I'm doing for you, it no longer, to me, is classed as borrowing. It's just taking the piss. Not only that, but also depends on what you need it for. The first couple of times I probably won't ask what it's for, but coming to the third and fourth time, I would want to know what you're using the money for. If it's for the latest designer or to go out with your friends, hell no. If rent needs paying, I will give it to you, but you will need to discuss your money management. I really, really like that because it literally gave different scenarios and it broke down like a whole load of different things. Again, would I ask what's the money for? Probably not, but like they said, by the third time I'll be like, okay, cool, like what's happening? And especially like if it's rent more than once, twice, like more than twice, then I'll be a little bit like, is everything okay? Like, should we sit down? Like, because you're not paying your rent twice now. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? Greenleaf said, why are people so greedy? It's money, for God's sake. When I need money, my husband helps me, and when he does, I help him. Our relationship is not based on it, and we never owe each other. Look after yourself and be smart when meeting someone new, but over time, it should not matter. Men are human too, not money-making machines. That's true, and I think the dynamics of the relationship makes a massive difference. If you are husband and wife, then the two become one. So that's everything. Like your husband wouldn't just, well, unless that happened, but no, just generically, your husband wouldn't just take your money and not pay. Like he's not going anywhere. Like you're legally bind together. So I think the dynamic of the relationship makes a massive difference. Maya says, no one should. Why rely on a partner when you can make your own money? So, okay, let me read this last one from Sally Ann. Gender, sex shouldn't matter. If it's borrowing, why not? Now, if you're financially abusing them, controlling their finances or wasting their money and saving yours, that's messed up as heck. Yeah, so let's go to Rex says, why are y'all paying rent as opposed to a mortgage? Okay, because some people rent, like not everybody's on the property ladder. So Fredo asked his baby mum for money. No, she didn't ask his baby mum for money. That was Sharif that we're talking about. Yeah, that was Sharif that we're talking about, not Fredo. So the whole situation with Fredo, it was about the statement that he made. I did a video on that, so we're going to touch on a little bit before I end the live. Just the comment and statement that he made, and then I'll go to the comments as well. So it gives me an opportunity to have a look to see what the comments are saying about that whole situation. And some people brought up the whole topic about baby mums being bitter and baby mama drama, so you can probably see that in the title. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that because I actually do feel like sometimes baby mums like get, I don't know, like there's just such a negative stereotype. It's almost like that baby mom needs to sit down, that baby mom needs to do this, that baby mom needs to do that, like without actually us understanding what their relationship is like. Because like I said earlier, someone must have said in a tweet that I posted, if he's out here putting her on blast like that, then why doesn't he what's the word, go to court and get full custody or get custody of the child type of thing? And a lot of people were really quick and to jump on this whole baby mom thing, and it's like there needs to be, to me, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more respect put on baby moms. Like not all baby moms are out there to make life hard for the dads. Like a lot a lot of women do that, and a lot of women do use the child as pawn, but not all baby moms are like that. So yeah, that's the whole Fredo situation. So just so you don't get it all mixed up. So let's have a look to see some of the comments from that. Okay, let me go here. Okay, let me go to the video. Right, okay. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Your government is bringing in 5% deposit and only 5%. Okay, let's leave that conversation. So, Kay Brown, with Fredo's situation, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. There could be other things going on between them. Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, we don't know the situation. He's obviously come out and he's apologized for the tweet that he posted, which was, why would you say such a thing? Like, I don't know, for me it was just like, why would you just strongly put like, my baby mom is a demon, like this cost me my holiday? It's like, huh? Like, what? Like, I should have got me, a white girl wouldn't do that. Like, okay, so Elizabeth, aka Lizzie, says it's not even I need to find me a white girl, as I don't do me like that. It's more of let me find a genuine, kind-hearted woman that won't do me like that. Boys won't know the difference, men will. This is a really good point, because there's a whole, sometimes when people talk about single parent homes, it's always the woman needs to pay more attention to the guy that she decides to have kids with, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, we know this happened with what's his name that I just done a video with. Hold on one second, let me find his name. Yeah, with Notes 3. You know, obviously everybody was just like, oh, you know, Aaliyah should have done better, he's younger, this and this and that. And it's instantly, it's like the woman's responsibility. And I get that, okay? I get that women need to do better and this and that. But at the same time, if you're out there complaining that your baby mommy is a demon, then surely everybody should have a responsibility to ensuring that they find the right partner. Like, as a man, surely you wouldn't just want to have a baby with just any female. Surely you would want a high value woman. Surely you would think, if I'm going to have a baby with you, I need you to be the type of woman that can be respectful, you know, that I can respect. Like, surely I'm not just going to have a breed any female. Do you know what I mean? Like, so surely men should think like that as well. Like, as much as people like to be like, oh, you know, women are the gatekeepers and women are the carriers. Women make the decisions whether they want to keep the baby or not. So therefore, women. It's like, cool, I get that argument. But if she's such a bad person, was she such a bad person when you were with her? Like, was she a demon? Like, at what point in the relationship did you realize that she was a demon? That's what I want to know. He definitely was in his feelings and wanted a bit of attention and validation from social media. Yeah, 100%. I do agree with that. A lot of men don't like being called on their bad behavior, don't like being shown up, fragile masculinity. That is really, really true. And I think that's why there needs to be some type of, what's the word? Not just accountability, but like, men need to be able to have that person who can be like, yo, like, what you're doing is messed up, like, you can't do that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not just allow whatever your boy does, like, it's cool, like, because we're just guys. Like, no, do you guys even tell each other if you're doing something, bro, what you done, like, is bad, don't do that. Regardless, he shouldn't see his daughter until he has 2 weeks of self-isolation. Man was partying with so many people and wants to be around his daughter. How irresponsible is that? What's the sad thing is that he's raising a black daughter. Imagine if she heard how her father talks down on black women when she is 1. Very, very good point. So yeah, guys, I think I will end the live there unless anybody wants to come in and touch up on anything that I've talked about today. But that's pretty much what I wanted to touch up on today's live and see where you guys' head was at with today's topics. It's just crazy because I just kind of feel like this is the second time now that this has come out, you know, like first Dave and now Fredo. It's just like, I'm so over it. Like, I'm so over it. Like, these are, okay, they're in their 20s or whatever, but I still, I'm like, these are grown men, always got something to say about a black woman or a white woman. It's like with the whole baby thing, it's like, why did you even have to bring a race into it? Because any woman can do that. Any woman can turn around and use their child as porn. Like any woman can turn around and be like, you're not seeing my child today. Like, it's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with race. But the fact that you had to bring race into it, again, it's just kind of like, why are we bringing down black women? Because there's only 2 races, like black, white. Like, who else was he talking about? I used to call out other guys. They stopped inviting me. Oh my gosh, that was not funny, but really, oh my gosh, this was the first time you joined my live. Hopefully it won't be the last time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much once again for 4,000 subscribers. Cheers. Hashtag road to 5K. It was an interesting conversation. But yeah, as if anyone doesn't have anything else to say, I'm going to do a countdown and then I'm out. Let me just have a read through this last comment. K Brown, cheers. You know. Tired of the stereotypes on black women, always coming from black men. It's embarrassing. We always build them up and they tear us down. So sad. It is so sad, and it's almost like this type of stuff makes us speak up for ourselves, defend ourselves, and when we do defend ourselves, we are tagged aggressive. We are called oversensitive, or we talk too much, or this and that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, yeah, the reason why is because I have to come out and defend myself, because you're not defending me as my black brother, as my black father. In fact, you are joining this whole narrative. You are pushing that whole narrative. So of course I have to come out and defend myself. And when we do so, we're called something. Like, they'll find something to call us, and it's like, do you know what? Actually, I'm gonna keep fighting and I'm gonna keep defending myself. That's it. Oh. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you so much. I will speak to you guys in my next video, which will probably be tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in. I'm out. I'll speak to you guys soon.